It is a great day to be alive, and I am so thankful for God, Jesus Christ, who lives in us. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about a dream within a dream, China, Navy ships, and Shiba Inu. Before we get started, I am not a financial advisor. Nothing that I'm sharing is financial advice. I am simply sharing dreams, visions, and interpretations that I feel God has given me as it relates to crypto. So getting started, I want to quickly recap a few dreams that God has given me as it relates to the date of October 17th. The first one is a ball pit dream. It was my second market crash dream. And in this dream, I saw myself seeing a picture of a market crash. It was just all red arrows, red candles. Everything was coming down was red. I looked down and saw that I was sitting in a ball pit, and these balls were only red and yellow. And on each ball, there was a date of October 17th. So hundreds of yellow and red balls, they all had the date of October 17th. This dream ended with me sharing with someone in this dream what I saw. So in this dream, I was telling this person that I saw all these balls. October 17th was on every single ball. They were all yellow and red. And so that dream ended. And I had this dream on September 27th, 2023. Moving forward on April the 11th, 2024, I had another dream about yellow and red. In this dream, it was a yellow and red key. And so I was being chased by some bad guys. I was trying to find my car keys. The bad guy caught me, locked me inside of a room. He came back, we began to struggle. He started reaching for a set of keys. And I moved his hand down to prevent him from grabbing the keys. Finally, I overtook him, and I won the struggle, and I ended up grabbing the keys myself. When I grabbed the key, I saw that it was yellow and red, and with like a handle on it, and it was flat, something that I had never seen before. And so I used the key, I put it flat against the surface, and I turned and I freed myself, and that was the end of that dream. So in both cases, the ball pit dream and the yellow and red key dream, I thought Shiba Inu. And later on, as time passed, I began to see MasterCard in this. And I also began to see the flower moon. As it changes, it has that yellow and red color. But overall, I've always thought Shiba Inu whenever I thought about these colors of red and yellow. So now I've had two dreams about red and yellow, and now on June 27th, I had a third dream about yellow and red. And in this dream, I saw a circle. The circle within it was the colors of yellow and red. However, it was shaped in like a specific design. The top, the yellow portion, wasn't colors, it was bananas. And so the bananas were overlapping each other to make this color yellow. And the bottom part, the red part, was actually colored in. It was filled in. And so when you look at it, you see the color, both colors, yellow and red. And when I woke up from this dream, I immediately thought about the first dream and the second dream, the balls in the ball pit, the yellow and red key. And now I'm seeing this circle. And so now that it's a circle and I'm seeing these two colors, I'm definitely thinking Shiba Inu. However, I'm trying to figure out what does bananas have to do with any of this. And so I don't like bananas. I hate bananas. I hate the smell, the texture, everything about it. I don't do bananas. And so as I'm beginning to look up the Chiquita Banana company, I'm seeing that a few days prior to having this dream, that there was some kind of lawsuit that was settled. Something happened years ago. Something horrible happened years ago, and now the lawsuit had been settled, and the people will be compensated for what had taken place. And so I'm pondering over the article, like trying to figure out, God, what is it that I'm supposed to pull from this? Why is this, what does this banana company have to do with anything as far as these colors? So then I looked and I recognized that the mascot for this banana company, long ago, the colors were yellow and red. So now I'm saying, okay, God, I see that there's a connection here. I'm not making the connection from the article, but as far as the colors of the mascot for this company, I see the yellow and I see the red. And so in my previous videos, I've shared how God has been dealing with me a lot with colors and with numbers. And I'll get more into the number portion a little bit later on in this video. But for now, again, whenever God was showing me colors, I understood to think flag. And so Now that I can't see anything in the articles about this banana company and this lawsuit, I began to think, well, where is this company located? And so it was Switzerland. And so I began to look up Switzerland flag, and this is what I found. It's a red flag with a white cross. And so from there, God leads me to look at what's the meaning behind these flags. Well, straight away, I recognized that the flag wasn't yellow and red, but it is the location of where this company is. And so as I began to look up the symbol, what does this cross mean? Well, this cross is a tribute to the founder of the American Red Cross. And for this reason, the cross is on this Switzerland flag. So what is the American Red Cross? The American Red Cross is a nonprofit organization aimed to prevent and relieve human suffering. The Red Cross's work includes disaster relief, providing assistance in the United States and around the world in response to natural and human and man-made disasters, supporting the military, providing services to members of the American Armed Forces and their families, educating the public, teaching life-saving skills and the rules of war, community support, helping families find loved ones lost in war, and ensuring detainees are treated with dignity. So from this, I am seeing what God has already been showing me. This comes as confirmation because the colors, originally the blue and the yellow, were colors that God led me to a flag, and that flag led to Ukraine. And from there, he led me to the message about war. He is speaking to me about a message about war, and this is confirming that. So not only am I getting the Shiba Inu feel from these colors of yellow and red, I am also being led to this banana company. This banana company is in Switzerland. This Switzerland flag is symbolic, or the symbol on it is a tribute to the founder of the American Red Cross. And the American Red Cross is all about supporting and teaching skills as it relates to war, being in war, being involved in war, supporting the military. And so now I'm still seeing this war aspect of everything. And so that was June 27th, leading up to going out of town on vacation when God gave me another dream. So again, the date of October 17th is important to keep in mind, as well as the colors of yellow and red, to keep that in mind. And also the message that God had been revealing to me, something about war as it relates to market crash, because this yellow and red started with a market crash dream. The understanding of war and what was happening, as far as what God was interpreting, giving me the interpretation of, as far as colors in the beginning, was pointing to war. Again, you would have to go back and watch this video in order to understand what I'm talking about as far as these colors. So now moving forward, I'm on vacation. It is July 8th, and I am looking at this article that's talking about China and how China has sent troops over to Belarus to do an anti-terrorism exercise. And what was interesting is the fact that this area, this location where they're going to be doing this training is near Poland, Ukraine. And so obviously I'm thinking about Ukraine now. I'm thinking about war again. And so I'm thinking to myself, okay, China, what's really going on? So that night I fell asleep and I had a third market crash dream. And that dream is explained in great detail in this video. But for now, I just want to kind of summarize to get to the point that I'm trying to make in this video. So in this dream, I was told, no, the market crash will happen in the third and fourth quarter. Also in this dream, I understood that there was a message. It was an output message. And then I woke up. So being on vacation, I did not spend as much time thinking about this dream. It wasn't until after I came back from vacation that I really started to pray and meditate on what is God saying in this dream. I understand the portion about the market crash time, the market crash period, third and fourth quarter. But what about this message? What is it about this message that was an output message that I need to understand? And so again, I explained the details and the outcome of what I understood the interpretation of this dream to mean, the message to mean. However, before God gave me the full interpretation and understanding of this third and fourth quarter market crash dream, I woke up. We were home from vacation, and I woke up and I walked into the front room and I saw two of my kids' chairs side by side, and it was the yellow chair and it was the red chair. And so I immediately thought China when I saw these two chairs next to each other, because I had just seen the article about China deploying troops to Belarus, and Belarus, that location being near Poland, Ukraine. And so now I'm thinking, okay, God, you've done this before. You've shown me two chairs put together before. And when I saw these two chairs, it was prior to God giving me the revelation that I'm showing you something through colors. And so as you can see here, and with the blue and yellow chair, this has happened before. My kids were at the back door looking out at the birds or something. And so when I walked in, I saw these two chairs together, and I immediately thought about my first market crash dream. And in that dream, those same colors, I saw red, green, white, blue, and yellow. But for this particular moment in time, God was working with me and dealing with me as it related to understanding what colors represented. And from there, he showed me the Ukraine flag. And from there, I understood war. These colors are pointing me in the direction of war. So having been there, seen that before, I understood that God is speaking something to me about China. Something about China with this yellow and red chair, with this article that I've seen prior to, connecting it with Ukraine, at least over in the area where Ukraine is. There's something God is trying to tell me about this. So with this in mind, I began to really dig into my third market crash dream, and asking God about this third and fourth quarter timeline that he's given me as far as when the market is going to crash. So now digging into this third market crash stream, what was this written message? What was it all about? And I believe that it was basically confirming. It's confirming that yes, the timeline that you've been working on since August 17th, this timeline is the market crash timeline. And it has led up to the fact that now you know that the market will crash in the third and fourth quarter. And so it's confirming that your timeline is dealing with war. All the numbers that you counted and the dates that you received from counting those numbers, and the events dealing with war that happened on those days, this is just a confirming message that yes, this is the timeline that I have given you. And so now that God has confirmed this output message and has specifically said what it is, this output message is about the timeline. It is about war. It is about the market crash. And now I'm letting you know from this 177 that the market is going to crash in the third and fourth quarter in 6 months, in 177 days. And so that is where I ended in this particular video. That was my conclusion. God has confirmed this timeline. He has confirmed that the market crash is going to happen, and it's going to be due to war in some way. And also, he's confirmed the window of time in which this market crash is going to happen. There's something more to this green 177 other than just the window of time for when the market crash is going to happen. So I went back to take a look again at the portion of the dream where God gave me the interpretation as far as the message and what the message was, the written message was. And as I'm looking at it, I began to focus on the colors of white and red once again. And from this, I began to say, well, what flag is the color of white and red? And so Poland came up, and Poland stuck out to me simply because on the 8th, I had read, while on vacation, I had read about China sending troops to Belarus that was near Poland, Ukraine. And so the red and the white stood out to me. And so I thought, okay, Poland flag. Of course, the China flag was a given because I had been seeing the colors of red and yellow after coming home from vacation, after seeing this article about China. But what about this 177? And then I felt like God was leading me to look at it as just the color, not the number. Look at it as just the color. What colors are you seeing now? And so now I'm seeing white, I'm seeing red, and I'm seeing green. And the only other location outside of Ukraine, Poland, outside of China that I did not look up based on this article was Belarus. And when I looked up the Belarus flag, I found out that the flag is red, green, and white. So God has something to say about war as it relates to China. In my previous videos, I asked the question, what is really going on, knowing that China has deployed these troops over to Belarus. And now God is answering the question of what is going on. And I feel that he's leading me in the direction that China has some involvement with Russia as it relates to the Russia-Ukraine war. So after the July 9th dream about the third market crash, I had another dream after I got back from vacation on the 11th. And so I mentioned that I woke up on the 11th and I saw those, the two chairs together, the yellow and red chair, and I thought China. Woke up from a dream that morning. In that dream, I was inquiring or asking someone in the dream about why am I seeing October 17th on all of these balls? And I asked several times, but why? But why? Why am I seeing October 17th on all of these balls? And I don't ever remember the person giving me an answer as to why. And that was the end of the dream. So now God has given me a dream within a dream about October 17th in these red and yellow balls. I began thinking about the 4 dreams pertaining to the colors of yellow and red. The first one being the ball pit, the second one being the key, the third one being the bananas, and the fourth one being me inquiring in a dream about the yellow and red balls and the date of October 17th. Why was I inquiring about the date of October 17th? And the more I thought about it, I was taken back to the market crash timeline. October 17th was the day that I felt God wanted me to, for the first time, use the 177 days, the green 177. And I remembered that. I said, well, God, wasn't it October 17th when you wanted me to start using the 177 days? And of course, there was an end date, but for now, I just want to focus on the October 17th date. That was the day that a war event happened. On that particular day, I felt God leading me to use the 177 days. And from market crash dream number 3, I am also told to use 177 days again as a marker or as a window of time for when the market crash will happen in the 3rd and 4th quarter. So God is pushing out this green 177 from the first market crash dream. He's tying it into the second market crash dream as it relates to October 17th date. And so with me having a dream within a dream about this date, I felt, yes, God, you're doing a lot with this 177, this green 177, and now you've revealed to me this Belarus flag using the same number, the same green 177. And it seems as if right when you think you've exhausted the number and the colors, God comes with something else. But that's just the type of God we serve. We can't put God in a box. God, he's very, very creative. He's the orchestrator of everything around us. And so when he does things like this, I can't help but have faith and trust him more. And so here again, I have a 4th thing to add based on these colors of yellow and red. I have now the China to add to what I already felt God was showing me, that this has something to do about China, Shiba Inu, possibly something about MasterCard, and the flower moon was just for me confirming something about Shiba Inu. You would have to go back and look at this video, most likely fast forward to the portion of the video where I explain the connection of Shiba Inu, the flower moon, and the colors of yellow and red. So should we be expecting to see Shiba Inu price take off during the time we hear news about China and a possible war involving the U.S. to some degree? So how does Shiba Inu come into play with this? I am seeing this more and more as we hear news about XRP. In one of my previous videos, I shared that another YouTuber made mention of a revelation that God had given her as it relates to Shiba Inu being connected to XRP, Japan. And so you would have to watch her video to get a better understanding of the connection there. However, based on the timeline of events that God had given me, what God had shown her, and a second YouTuber as well as myself, begin to kind of tie and come together. And that is where the flower moon comes into play. And so you have to go back and really watch that portion of the video to understand how and why I'm connecting Shiba Inu and XRP together. And so we also know that there is news to be expected for XRP and its case, Ripple case. And that we should be expecting to hear something soon about the closing of that case. I also shared in another video that God had given me a dream about XRP on June the 2nd, and he showed me XRP taking off in a short period of time. And since then, so much has come out about XRP, cutting the prices for what they would pay, as well as them announcing the stable coin and announcing the name of the stable coin. And now we're hearing about this case possibly being closed. Now I'm hearing the 18th, but I want to say, I kind of want to say, but don't really want to say definitely by the end of this month of July. However, all of this news is coming so quickly, and XRP price is beginning to move. And so I'm still believing God that he has shown me that XRP is going to take off in a short period of time. So since the month of June 2nd up until now, today is July the 13th, just a little bit over a month. All this stuff has transpired with XRP. And so now that God I feel has put me on a path of seeing how Shiba Inu is going to be connected with XRP and how all this news about XRP is about to come out, Shiba Inu has no choice but to take off. And now, on July the 11th, I mentioned the dream within a dream about these colors again. And now it's stirring up, once again, my thoughts about Shiba Inu. And the timing couldn't be better because, again, we're hearing about XRP. And so now Shiba Inu is coming back up around the same time that XRP news is about to come out about this case. And so I feel that God is just bringing all of these roads together and showing me that not only is there a market crash that should be expected within the next 6 months, but also we should see good things with Shiba and XRP. And then on top of all that, you have the damper of the idea of a possible war that would have something to do with China, Russia, Ukraine. And then on the other side of things, also the war with Israel and Iran. God has shown me that war on this timeline as well. And the newest thing, as I was saying about the Switzerland flag and the bananas and the Chiquita Banana Company, and what the cross on the flag represented, the red cross. Well, the white cross, but it represents the Red Cross nonprofit, and how the Red Cross nonprofit is connected to all these things that have to do with war and recovery and preparing. And so it's hard not to see God warning us about war in all of this. But now I'll move forward and share this last thing that God showed me. And this was more of a vision. I was not asleep just yet. I was falling asleep. I did a video on about my third market crash dream. I put that video out on the 13th, and I had this vision. I woke up from this vision. Well, I can't say wake up, but I was in between falling asleep. But this happened on July the 14th. So I put out the video about my third market crash dream. On the 13th, I posted that video. And then on the 14th, I had this vision. You will also see in this same picture with the vision that I'm about to share, something to do with a restaurant. I'm not sure about that. I have been so focused on all of this with China and what I'm about to share as far as this Navy ship that I saw in a vision. In this vision, it started out with me seeing a yellow caution sign, And then as the vision began to expand, I saw a grayish bluish colored ship, and it was in the water. And so it expanded again, and I was able to see about 3 more of the same ships in the water. And the water was moving, and the ship was just sitting. Nothing was happening. The ship was just in the water. But the yellow caution sign was on the back. It was kind of covering the back side of that first ship that I saw. And that was the end of the vision. So my understanding of this ship that I saw was a Navy ship. And I felt in my spirit that God was telling me the following: the fight will be in the water. You will hear it, but not see it. And that is what I felt in my spirit God was telling me as I was waking up out of this, from this vision. And so my first thoughts were, okay, God, this is a Navy ship that I'm seeing. I saw 3 more in addition to this one. And I feel like you're telling me that the fight will be in the water. And so what I begin to think then is, okay, God, I see that a lot of articles has come out about, of course, Russia being off of the coast of Florida, and then the Chinese shipping troops over here and over there. And so I immediately text this to my husband. He was still asleep, and I wanted to make sure that I didn't forget to tell him. And so I sent it to his phone. And that was that. I woke up, we talked about it, later on, and he kind of said that, yeah, from what I see in your drawing, it seems as if these are Navy battleships, whatever that means. And so here from the picture, you see that that was sent at 5 a.m. I sent into his phone at 5 a.m., 5:11, just as a way of, again, letting him know, what I had a dream about. And then also as a way to confirm if I decide to do a video. So I always seem to be a day late on news. And so today, which is July 15th, an article came to my phone and talked about China and Russia starts a joint naval drills. They start doing joint naval drills. And the headline portion of this says that China and Russia's naval forces have kicked off a joint exercise at a military port in southern China on Sunday. So this happened on the 14th, the same day that I had this dream or vision, saw this in the vision, this naval ship in the vision. This was taking place. And of course, again, I'm a day late on this. This article was put out on July 14th at 9 o'clock a.m. And I woke up or came out of my vision on the 14th, but at 5 o'clock a.m. And so I feel that God was showing me that warning, giving me the unction to go ahead and text my husband this. So when this article came out, that is my way, God's way of saying, yes, I'm confirming to you that this is what I'm showing you. So now I have completely walked you guys through the yellow and red journey that God has had me on since September of 2023, and basically showing how he's still connecting the dots, even from all the way back then up until, I had the last yellow and red dream on July the 11th. And so God is, he's still confirming, just as he's shown me in the very first market crash dream, the second market crash dream, and in his third market crash dream, he's still confirming that this market crash is going to happen, and he's showing me how and why. It is because of something to do with war that this market crash is going to happen, but he's also showing me the coins that are going to do well during this time. Even though the market is going to crash, look for these coins, Shiba Inu, XRP. And if there's anything more that God shows me, I will share that. But look for these 2 coins in spite of what's happening. Look for these coins. Be prepared when you hear this news about war. Be prepared to look to see that these 2 coins, it's possible that Shiba Inu is going to take off with XRP. Now XRP is going to do extremely well because it's XRP. But how well will Shiba Inu go? How high will it go? I don't know. But in this mix of dreadful news when it comes down to war, just know that God has some things as he's preparing us for this wealth transfer. It's going to be good times and bad times. It's going to be a time of dreadful times and happy times for those who are part of the wealth transfer. And so God knows what's coming. And so because he knows that, he's going to be preparing us for these hard times. And that's where I believe this wealth transfer is coming in at. Not only is Russia and Ukraine involved in their war, but now we're seeing China getting involved. But to what extent? To what degree? I feel that God has also shown me something about cyber war, and I did a video on that as well. Would a cyber war have a negative effect on our markets? You betcha, it definitely will. So you think about the outcome of a cyber war and a physical war, as well as a change in our financial system, that will wreak havoc on our economy, based on what we know now versus what's to come. But the word of God tells us not to put our confidence in man. We have to put our confidence and trust in God. He sees this coming. That is why he's warning us about this. And we can't look back and say, well, God, we didn't know. Or God, why you didn't tell us that a war was coming? Or, we can't say that because God is making it clear. And all these articles about, the wars and stuff that's going on. There's even been an article put out about NATO warning countries to plan, to be prepared, just in case Russia does attack. And so, just as I shared in a previous video, and in that video I shared how I walked into this room and I saw this person with their glasses up to the computer screen, and they were sliding their glasses, it was in their hand, and they were sliding their glasses really slowly down the front of the computer screen. And from that, my interpretation was that God is saying we need to have on our spiritual glasses. Our glasses are to use to help us to see. And if God is taking those glasses that are supposed to be used to help us to see, and he's showing me someone putting those glasses up against the screen, that's extremely close. That's looking extremely close. And so God wants us to pay attention. Put on your spiritual glasses, your spiritual eyes, and pay attention to what is going on. They're not going to just come out and tell us that, hey, this is what's happening. They're not going to just come out and tell us that be prepared for a military draft. They're not going to come out and say that. So we have to pay attention to what God is showing showing us spiritually as well as naturally. And again, take all this back to God in prayer. Ask God for revelation for yourself. God, is this really something that you're showing us as it relates to war? What do I need to know? How do I need to prepare? Because as far as the wealth transfer goes, we know that in spite of all of the bad news that we may hear about war, when it comes to God's people, he's going to work it out for our good. And so that is where the wealth transfer comes in. And so we should be praying now, asking God now, God, what is it that you want me to do with this wealth transfer? How do I prepare during these times? So if a possible war does pop off all of a sudden, or if the financial system switches over all of a sudden, how can I position myself not to be affected negatively by what's going on around me? And all this information that I share in my videos as it relates to war, it's not a fear tactic to get people all upset and stressed out. No, sometimes warning is not always a bad thing. Sometimes warning is good, because when I know to plan ahead because something is coming, that's a good thing. God is not in the business of sitting back watching his people struggle and suffer through what he knows is coming. No, God is always so many steps ahead. And so for that reason, he does what he's doing through many people who are dreamers, and they're used by the hand of God. He sends warning before destruction. He sends warning to say, hey, get prepared. I love you so much that I want you guys to be prepared. I want you to know what's coming ahead. I want to prepare you for these dark days. And just like the Egyptians and the Israelites over in the book of Exodus, when the Egyptians were experiencing darkness, God's people was experiencing light. And so the same thing is true here. When these dark times come, as we begin to listen to the warning of God and preparing ourselves as God is saying, is showing us to do, then in the midst of dark days, we're going to be standing and enjoying the light. We'll be enjoying the spiritual light of Jesus Christ within us and around us, as well as the light of experiencing joy and peace during the times of darkness. I also feel that God is trying to show me something more as it relates to the restaurant sign that I saw in this particular, in another dream actually. The restaurant sign I saw in an actual dream. You'll see I put 1 and 2 here in the number 1 and number 2. The Navy ship was a vision, but the restaurant was a dream. And all I remember seeing was the sign. It was posted and it said, "Sorry, we are closed for further testing." In other words, should we be preparing to hear something from the CDC as it relates to another worldwide issue, as it relates to testing? I'm not sure. This is something that I'm still, praying about, taking it before the Lord. But man, that would just be the icing on the nasty cake if it did come down to something like that happening again, on top of this possibility of war. So we have to be prayerful. Just pray, ask God to continue to give us insight. God knows, He understands, and He will never leave us nor forsake us. Be encouraged, family. Thank you for everyone who has liked, shared, and subscribed to this channel. You are indeed a blessing. And until the next video, God bless.